All right. I think I got it all going. How's everyone doing today? Playing my friend's music today. This is Lee Jeffrey, A Salient Project, I believe is what the name of his thing is. And this is a Bodhisattva's Tale. So I'm going to put the link in the comments later. Trying new stuff. I'm live on Facebook and I'm live on Instagram right now. Trying it out. Starting a video. Hey. So I'm sharing this Khalil Gibran quote on Facebook, and I'll read it out loud so that we can have our Instagrammers know what I'm trying to share. So the quote by Khalil Gibran is, "Knowledge of the self is the mother of all knowledge. It is incumbent on me to know myself, to know it completely, to know its minutiae, its characteristics, its subtleties, and its very atoms." That is Khalil Gibran. All right, I'm gonna go ahead and turn this amazing music down so I can start talking about astrology. Ooh, that was abrupt, wasn't it? So I'm talking about the new moon today. We're having a new moon in Leo, and Leo is the creative fire of the zodiac. And the reason I shared that Khalil Gibran quote is because there's a lot of spirituality involved in this Leo new moon, a lot of inner knowledge, a lot of digging to the core of our values, and it is very focused on your creative fire and your desires. And it's just quite a passionate new moon. So typically new moons are very quiet. This one doesn't feel so quiet. It is inward in the way of, what do I really want right now? What do I well, I keep saying, what do I want? That's all that's coming through. What do I feel passionate about? What's making me excited? That's what I'm looking for. What is my inner child saying? Hey, go do this, go play in the park, go have fun, go color a page. That's not all that's involved though. So we're planting new seeds in that way. So really be thinking about that, you know. In fact, Mercury is with this new moon, and Mercury is our thoughts, our feelings, how we express ourselves. When a planet's close to the sun by orbit around the Earth, it is known as something called combust. Same thing for the moon. The moon and Mercury are with the sun right now, combust. That means the sun's absorbing, kind of hiding all of that energy and absorbing it into itself. So we are thinking in terms of our inner child and creativity. We are acting in terms of that. We are feeling in terms of that. And then it's hooking into these other energies. Mars is in Aries. It's about to go retrograde. This is our ego, our will, our passion. And that's very much self-focused right now. We are really motivated and wanting to move forward. The other part that's involved in this grand fire trine, which is why I named this the portal of fire talk. But the other thing involved in this is the South Node in Sagittarius. Sagittarius is your belief system. It's your personal truth. And the South Node is a karmic baggage. You're sort of getting rid of it, okay? So we are trying our best to move through our creative energies and go, oh my gosh, my beliefs have changed at the same time, you know? So it's kind of heavy in that way. It's spiritual. It's got a spiritual bend. And so I think that one of the better ways to use the energies of this new moon is to get involved into something creative, you know? Mars and Aries, get involved into something physical. Maybe going for a walk, you know, opening your heart, your mind, and thinking about what it is that you really love, what it is that you really enjoy, what it is that you really want out of the world. Okay, well, there's also some other things going. Maybe the fact that the world's completely new and completely different, right? So this is in terms of the new world, the new outside world. And this has shifted everyone. We're at home. Maybe we're working under crazy conditions. Maybe we have our children with us at all times. I think it's so interesting. It's Leo new moon with this grand fire china, and kids are starting school as well. So there's lots of different and new and fresh energy. And it lights fires in us that we're not used to, like I'm around the house and I'm like, oh my gosh, I gotta fix this. I got my heart really wants to make my home beautiful right now. My heart really wants to also have fun, so thinking in terms of what do I like? What you have to sit with yourself in these times, right? So that the emotional aspect is that Venus is in Cancer and it's sextile to Uranus. Now that's a bunch of astrology speak, right? That just means that we're open to feeling our new value system. It's actually fairly good luck to have all of this happen to us and be able to shift our value system completely, right? And that's also calling on that fire energy. What new world can we create? Leo, which is where the new moon is opposite of Aquarius. Aquarius is a new world. Aquarius is unique. Aquarius is something you cannot even conceive of right now. So we're planting the seed for that in Leo with our inner child, with our heart, with what is fun, what is creative. Now, Venus in Cancer is also calling us to look at our needs, though. Like, you have to think of the fundamental needs here, and that's really the buildup of the Capricorn planets. Capricorn is authority. So we have energy in this area of authority and structure and reparenting ourselves, and Venus in Cancer, remothering ourselves. So there are rules involved, okay? And there are things that we have to check out and go, do I want to conform to those rules? Or do I want to blaze a new path? Do I want to blaze a new trail? Do I want to be a nonconformist? These are the questions too. What are my emotional needs? Do I need to eat every day? I mean, that's something that's important, right? What are my physical needs? What are my fundamental life needs? So this is also getting us down to our real deal, what life is about, right? So in the zodiac, Aries is the first sign. Aries is the initial cardinal creative fire. It strikes out. Well, we have a planet there. Then we have Leo, which is fixed fire. That's okay. I'm staking my claim in this world and I'm going to be a creator. It is the sun. It is birth. It is the lion. It is look at what I can do. That's Leo. And then you have Sagittarius, which is this is my knowledge. This is what I've learned. This is my wisdom. This is my personal truth being activated. I mean, this is the newest new you can think of. What can you create? But we also have to get to the core of our spiritual needs as well. So I pulled a card for today, the Hierophant. I'm using Sun and Moon Tarot. I just wanted to see, if I could pull a card that would maybe kind of mold all of this together. And it really, truly does. Sagittarius, the South Node in Sagittarius, getting rid of old beliefs, getting rid of old truths. This requires some letting go, some being burned by the fire. And I mean, I was reading lots of Jungian quotes recently, today, actually, just researching, a lot of astrology is research. We're putting archetypes to above and going, oh yeah, that sort of helps to explain my reality right now. I mean, that's how I look at astrology. It's psychological in nature. Do I like to look ahead and see if I can figure things out? Yeah. I mean, who doesn't, right? Does that mean I'm right? No, I allow for free will. I also allow for God or whatever this is, right? This is about self-knowledge. And so the Hierophant is about self-realization, expansion, support. So developing emotionally and spiritually. Venus in Cancer, South Node in Sagittarius, Uranus in Taurus. Uranus in Taurus right now, which is pretty active. And in fact, around the new year, once Mars moves out of Aries, I think one of the first planets it hits is Uranus, which is upheaval. So Uranus is the wild card. It's also why I don't feel like I can necessarily accurately predict things in the future, right? If there's a planet that rules unpredictability, how are you going to try to predict the future, right? But you can say these themes are coming. And you can start to go into yourself and what do I feel about this? This astrology lady says Uranus is in Taurus and that my values might be shifting. The last time Uranus was in Taurus was the Great Depression. A lot of planets were in Cancer. Cancer is emotional needs, nurturing. Do I have what I need? And those two planets are talking to each other right now. So what are my values? Maybe before, what do people say, all of this going on, or the pandemic, or whatever, or pick your thing that's happened. I was looking at a meme of 2020. So much has happened, right? But before that, you may have valued new shoes because you were going out and you were shopping and that was really exciting and you loved getting new clothes, and now you're at home with no one to show your new clothes. That's how I feel about it. I mean, so now what value is taking the place of that? Okay, then we think what is what do I enjoy? What do I love? You have to sit with yourself and go, what do I even love? What do I love when I have to sit with myself? Maybe new shoes still excite you, but think about it, consider it, and really consult the inner child right now. What do I really enjoy? And if it's the new shoes, then we have the opportunity for change with Uranus and Taurus. We have the opportunity to say, well, maybe I'll start a blog or maybe I'll go live. Look at me going live for astrology. I've been a musician all my life and a mom, and now I do astrology. But I value the tools that astrology has given me. And more than astrology, I mean, astrology is a way of explaining my spiritual nature, what I believe, motivating people, motivating myself, getting to the bottom of things, right? But guess what else does that? Take your pick. Maybe you're into tarot. Maybe you're just into science and you understand the world through atoms. Maybe you're into music and you're understanding the world through the language of music. It's a language, it's a tool system, right? These are the things we're exploring right now. And the opportunity to share that is what I feel like next year is about. Saturn and Jupiter move into Aquarius, especially at the new year. It's really funny. This new year is going to be the most new year I think that we've ever experienced. So Aquarius is the future. It's innovation. It is aliens. I mean, it does rule aliens. Aquarius rules astrology. Aquarius is the bigger picture. And like I said, opposite to that is Leo, and that's where this new moon is. So we're planting the seed for the next year. Now, I've been talking about a lot about creativity. I've been talking a lot about inner child, your desires, your inner desires. I've said a lot about that. But I think I want to speak to compassion as the other part of this new moon. Compassion is so important, and drawing on that is a part of the new world. Uh, Finding compassion for the things that irritate you the most about someone else, about this reality. I mean, you can go into, it's all projection of your shadow, yada, yada. We could get psychological about it. But what I'm saying is, we will not have a future worth being in without compassion, without love. Practicing that is hard in this time. But why I think it's so important is another part of the astrology. Like I said, Mercury is with the sun today. It's combust. We are really thinking about that inner child creative need, right? The romance, the enjoying, the fun, all of that. That can kind of take you out of the intellectual in certain instances. And the fact that the North Node is in Gemini, this is our soul's path. This is where we're going, is information gathering. But another part of that is it's applying to a square with Neptune, and Neptune is confusion and misinformation. Neptune's been involved in a lot of the misinformation lately. Jupiter is sextile Neptune, expansion of confusion, delusion, illusion. And so this is where I'm asking you to bring compassion in, because if there was ever a time in the entirety of human existence for it to be easy to pull the wool over people's eyes, it is right now. We are taking in so much information on a constant basis. Never before. Okay, TVs were invented. That started piping in more information uh, but there was just less of it. You could still walk away from the TV. You still had to walk away from the TV, the radio. Then we think of cell phones, but not until, I mean, let's just say the last 20 years has it been so pumped into our brains. I can't even find a way to describe the amount of information that we're having to take in all of the time. Part of that is wrong information. Part of that is information that has been skewed, spun, used, bastardized, and on all sides, all sides, all sides, all sides. So have compassion for people, even if their beliefs are not aligned with yours. I am not trying to extinguish the desire to teach. Teaching is a part of this time, but teaching with compassion is a much different thing than arguing at people or preaching at people. And information has to have love attached to it at this point in time. There are going to be people that you love that think something different, that believe something different. And I'm not trying to also minimize the consequences of that. You know, your belief that something that someone else believes is harmful, that's a tricky thing. How can you apply compassion in that time? You know, and I don't know if I have an answer for that. I think that's up to you to try to apply compassion in a very difficult situation when people are saying, no, I don't believe this. And you're saying, but that is harmful to others because that's my belief. Wow. Right. So I think the best way to go about that is speaking your truth. And this is a part of this new moon, the portal of fire. Speak your truth and let it be. Let it be your truth. There's no need to say, I can't believe you don't believe this. Here's my truth. It doesn't mean I don't love you. It doesn't mean I can't, continue a relationship with you. And then be compassionate to yourself for feeling the feelings of, oh my God, my mother doesn't believe this. And it is so out of square with what I believe. You know, it's a difficult time for that. Relationships are hard. And so, I mean, that's why compassion is so important. Compassion for yourself, expanding self-love, compassion for others, because wow, what a time to be taken by misinformation. That is so prevalent right now. And so anyone who might even have the propensity to be taken by misinformation or be taken by bullshit is having it harder even now, because now there's a lot of it at all times. So compassion is so important. And towards the goal, I guess, let's get towards the goal. The goal is to get clear on what your values are. That's also part of this card that I pulled. Let me bring up my notes again. Defining your values, direction, decisions, feeling into your values. You know what a gut feeling is. And that is so important in your personal truth right now. It's so important. If you have a gut feeling about something, it's very hard to sway people from a gut feeling, right? So if that's something you feel, you got to stick with it. That's difficult, because I should say this: you should always have an open mind and always be checking that belief, but paying attention to your intuition. Is that bullshit? Is that news story? Is that meme? Is that bullshit? Ask yourself that question when you have a gut feeling. Go search it out, check that gut feeling again. But this is a time to search and to dig and also to trust yourself. I have a gut feeling about a topic that I'm not even going to mention because we cannot say certain words right now. But I have a gut feeling about it. And it's going to take some heavy evidence to sway me. I think that's another way we should be communicating our gut desires, our gut feelings, our personal truth is I feel this way. You can think I'm terrible for feeling this way. I will have an open mind and consult myself. Is this a part of my shadow? Let me check myself. I checked myself. No, it's not a part of my shadow. This is my intuition and this is where my personal truth lies. Or I checked myself and you know what? I think I'm wrong. So being open with how we learn, being open with our information and how we can shift, because these personal truths are also supposed to be wobbly. Okay, so I'm supposed to have a gut feeling, but I'm also supposed to allow for my personal truths to be completely shifted right now. If I could share the chart on Instagram, I would. I can on Facebook, but you know what? I don't want to confuse things. I just want to tell you there are planets in every element. There are planets all across the board. There is a lot of energy. The fire is dominating that creative fire. But let me see what else is. Let me pull up this new moon chart and just look at it really quick so I can get clear. And then, yeah, earthquakes, Uranus and Taurus, Venus and Cancer. I'm feeling my values. I'm feeling my relationships out. I'm checking them out. Now, I will say Venus sextile Uranus is an opportunity to change. So that's another important part about consulting our intuition. But yeah, radical self-care, remothering yourself. And this speaks to immune system. Here's a little part of this new moon phase is that it's toward the end of Leo. Typically, we have a new moon in the beginning of a sign and then the full moon in its opposite sign. Not right now. We've shifted and now it's a new moon in Leo. And then we don't even have a full moon in Aquarius after this because the full moon happened first. Interesting. What does that mean? Why are we having a full moon on a astrological axis before the new moon? The new moon's seed planting time. Well, that means most of this moon phase is happening in Virgo. So we have the new moon in Leo, creative fire, what I feel, what I want, my right to exist, maybe getting rid of these old personal truths that are not serving us anymore, taking in new information. That's all this grand fire trine. But then we move into Virgo soon after that. And Virgo is about health. Virgo is about healing. Virgo is about service. Virgo is about perfection. So anything that we feel the desire to act on, this development is going to take place in a very, I would even say, cerebral, earth-like way. So it's going to quickly move into earth energy. In fact, Mercury goes there first. And we have this Virgo in health, wellness. And so this is nurturing yourself through health, nurturing yourself through wellness. That is a part of this. Mars is applying to a square with Saturn right now. And there is the rules also permeating all of this. You know, we want to move forward. We want to be creative. We want to have this fiery, you know, like, yeah, I have ideas. Yes, I want to get out too. Like, I mean, I think a lot of people are going to want to get out and socialize. Leo is a very social energy. And I think quickly as all of the planets move into Virgo quickly after this, it's kind of going to be shut down. So if we can have that knowledge, maybe you don't act out, maybe you take the opportunity of Uranus and Taurus and say, okay, I'm going to shift the way I do this because I value my health, and maybe I'll go online with things more. I will socialize in a group online, and I'm not discouraging. People need human interaction. Please don't think I'm discouraging that. But obviously, we are in a brand new world, so we have to figure this out. How can we shift? We have to be malleable. But that's why I'm saying more Earth energy, Mars square Saturn. It's like, yeah, but you can't do that right now. Reality. Capricorn is reality. We have a lot of reality, the real situation looming over us, and having to shift our rules, having to go, you know what, my boundary used to be this, but now my boundary is this. And rules do shift, rules don't stay the same because humanity grows, humanity shifts. So yeah, we can't be in large groups. It's unacceptable. It's unacceptable to be in large groups without a mask. It's unacceptable to gather in large groups even with a mask right now. And you can have your own belief system around that, you know, but that's what's being put forth, right? What's being asked of everyone. And so the rules hold you back from that desire to break free, to break out, to go forward. That's the Mars and Aries, And when Mars goes retrograde, September 9th, it's going to be more frustrating. It's going to be like, but I want to move forward. I want it. So this is cocoon time. This is development time. Channel it into development. Develop that desire. When I keep saying this when I have client sessions about the Mars retrograde, when sometimes we don't know what we want. And sometimes it's hard for us to say, I want to go this way or I want to go that way. And especially right now. And Mars retrograde is going to give us the opportunity to be far clearer on our direction and what we want, because we're not going to be able to move forward with it. When you're not able to move forward in a situation, you quickly figure out what you want, very quickly. So I do want to bring that message forward, that if there is a situation which you're like, I want this so bad, don't force it too soon. Just develop it, realize it, go into your cocoon with it, think on it. And that's not easy. That's not easy when we're excited and passionate about something. And that's what this new moon is like. If you're passionate, if you're feeling excited, that's awesome, because that's the nature of it. We should. This is the spark of a new idea, right? But Mars retrograde, square Saturn, it's just not viable right now to move forward. Now, that is not, please do not say Mandy told me not to move forward, and so I didn't make this business decision. No. You have free will. These are just the energies coming forth. What I'm saying is, if there's something that you want to push forward, don't force it. Don't force it. If there's something saying slow down, stop, not the right time, got to switch it up, got to change it up, let's rethink this, let's redo it. That's what I'm saying. Mars square Saturn, when is that exact? Let me see. And that means Saturn is quincunx to this new moon. It's annoying. Like, it really is. A quincunx aspect in astrology is like a mosquito buzzing around, it's like, it won't quit buzzing, that the rules, we need to restructure. We need to have our foundations right. Outer world pressing in, authority, I don't know what to believe, all of that. Kind of putting the brakes on with the gas on, at the same time. Woo, that's fun, right? So yeah, Saturn is hooked into this new moon as well. That's a bummer a little bit, because that's like the dad coming in and saying, quit playing so rambunctiously, quit enjoying yourself. Quit enjoying yourself right now. There are serious things to think about. The world's going to shit and I can't take it. What did that do to your inner child, when you were a kid? It's such a bummer, right? Oh, tough energies. And it's depressing. It can be depressing. Although I feel like all this fire is lifting me a little bit. Personally, I'm feeling like a little elevated. But I am still, I know, I'm like, okay, that I can't do the things I would normally be doing right now. It's a bummer. I'm a social person. I can't be hanging out with people. So there is that element of the energies at play. And then I'm going to move forward a little bit in time and just see what I can tell you about this next new moon phase. I think I've described the energy of what's going on right now. There's actually, I'm just noticing it's not even just a quincunx. It's called a yod. It's the finger of God is pointing at Saturn. The fate is like, get your house in order. That is a need. Make sure in all of this fire, before I move on in the days, I should say this. Make sure you are taking stock of your stuff, your home, your needs, your reality needs. You cannot be delusional during this time. There is no room for delusion at all. We have to get clear on what reality is asking of us. And if you can kind of think prepper when I talk about stuff like that, make sure you have enough food. It is going to be a tough winter. It's going to be a tough winter. Winter is a time when we have sicknesses get transmitted easily. Everyone's inside together and it's cold outside anyway. So, but it is a development phase. So if you can just make sure your needs are taken care of right now in the best way possible, that sucks when you have no jobs though, so I'm not preaching to this from this privileged place. There are things I don't have. And so that's why I'm focusing on these needs. And if you're having a tough time getting your needs met, tell somebody, because I'm preaching compassion. And if you tell me you need something, I'm going to care and I'm going to do what I can to help. And that's so important going forward. Okay. So being open about needs as well. It's the time for it. You can't stay quiet about that kind of stuff. All right. So I'm going to move forward a little bit in time and just look. Let's see what energies I can speak about. So the full moon is this evening at around 9 p.m. And then tomorrow, the moon's already in Virgo. Like, how can I prune this and make it grow more? Moon in Virgo, especially, it's going to be hitting a trine to Uranus and a trine to all the Capricorn. Can be quite heavy. It's like today might feel a little elevated, might feel a little creative, and then boom, tomorrow the moon goes into Virgo and it's like, ugh, but I'm feeling sniffly. That's not good. Or my stomach hurts. Or oh my gosh, my house is dusty. That's sort of a Virgo energy, Or maybe the awareness that the world needs healing. That's so it gets quite real when the moon moves into Virgo. It's there for the next 2 days through Thursday. Another thing I haven't talked about is Uranus has gone retrograde. Uranus retrograde is, like even more of a upheaval, even more of a shift in values. Any planet retrograde just gets a little bigger and louder. So, we could also see literal earth things happening, especially when the moon's in Virgo completing this earth sort of trifecta there. You can see that's, I think of earthquakes. I think of also the fact that we have a grand fire trine on top of everything and we have fires everywhere, real hot, active time. So, watch for some earth stuff to happen. Uranus rules extreme weather and earth events in Taurus here. Food as well. And that's why I say food, and physical needs, like, just, it's all, I can't help but say it. I don't want to be negative. There is no negativity in this. There is take care of your stuff. Let's see here. Mars hits that exact square with, or the degree square with Saturn on Sunday. And so it could be obstacles. The way out of that is to do your best to take in information. Okay. Pivot. Okay. The North Node in Gemini, it's going to be sextile Uranus with that. So it's like, if there's an obstacle, there's something to learn. There's a place we need to shift our thinking, our way, our personal truth, our old beliefs. Also, the sun will be in Virgo by that time. The sun moves into Virgo Saturday. So, and Mercury as well. So we've got Earth coming up. That was a nice bit of fire. And now Mars is all, over there. No, it's not alone, South Node and Sag. But, now it's getting heavy with the sun in Virgo. I don't want to say that either. It can be quite spiritual with the sun in Virgo and quite healing as well. So keep that in mind. Um, let's looking at Sunday. That's Mars square Saturn and trine sextile the nodes. You might have an instance of, and it could come through an obstacle, it could come through having to deal with a rule or authority or something like that, in which you have an awareness of a direction shift, you know. So it is annoying, but it's also like, okay, I have a chance to learn more and change my direction a bit. Venus is starting Monday, Tuesday, it's exact Tuesday, in opposition to Jupiter. This lends itself to a good feeling time, Venus and Cancer, but maybe a super emotional time, especially in terms of relationship or finances, and having to kind of check on that stuff. So Venus and Jupiter both great feeling, they're benefics, but it can just make for a super emotional time. Maybe it's a good day to cuddle with your partner, or cuddle with anybody. Maybe it's a good day to take a bath. It's a good day to do some self-care to make sure you feel held. I mean, I'm looking as a Tuesday, so any random Tuesday is a good day for making yourself feel good. But this one, you're going to really feel the need to work through some emotion, I would say, Venus and Cancer. And that's great. We need balance. We need to make sure we are taking care of ourselves. It's also applying to that trine with Neptune. So this is Tuesday, August 25th, Venus opposite Jupiter, feeling quite emotional, maybe emotionally aware of any imbalances in a relationship or in terms of finances. And then when it hits on Friday the 28th, the moon moves into Capricorn, Venus trines Neptune. That actually, no, that's Thursday the 27th that it's trine Neptune. This is the ability to tap into some intuition, but it can also be confusing. Don't spend a bunch of money on Thursday the 27th, probably, feeling like, oh, this seems magical. I can do this. I need to take care of myself with this grand spending habit, or maybe, this typical kind of rose-colored glasses situation on the 27th. So just be aware of that. But by the time Venus hits that opposition with Jupiter on the week, let's say, I'll give you dates, the week of the 24th, it may get a little tough, because then Venus will oppose Pluto, and that's like transformation and endings, and I can't emotionally take this anymore. You probably become aware of it on Monday, Tuesday, the 24th, 25th. Then you have your extreme situation with it in terms of values, finances, relationship, love, even fairness, right? It comes at a time where you need to act on it. The intensity is just too strong. So intense situations coming up starting Saturday the 29th. And having to make some absolute changes in our boundaries, our foundations, our outer world. The absolute need to shift. It starts to get a little more serious with Venus opposite that. I just think so. That's September 1st. September 1st, we have the moon coming into its full phase in Pisces. So, that brings you up to date for that time. I'm not looking forward to the full moon thing, because things get kind of real, and it's like, at least I'm starting to like the Mars retrograde feeling. It's gonna be, Mars is the god of war. It's gonna be a little kind of conflagration filled, and maybe rebellious, and maybe uh, insert all of those fire um, words in there. But Saturn, Pluto, Jupiter start to retrograde back to the same place we had them at the beginning of the pandemic, at the beginning of all of the the tough stuff we've been through in 2020. And I'm looking at it as, and I wanted to share this before I forget, is a Carl Jung quote. I'll share it on my Facebook, and then I'll also read it for my Instagram folks. I'm a Jung fan, forever young. But this is really the essence of what we're entering at this new moon, and is a man who has not passed through the inferno of his passions has never overcome them. As far as we can discern, the sole purpose of human existence is to kindle a light in the darkness of mere being. Everything that irritates us about others can lead us to an understanding of ourselves. I can't sum up this period of time any better. We are passing into the fire. That equals the ashes, that equals the phoenix. This is the portal of fire in its very basic sense. And it burns all of the unnecessary underbrush away. So I'm going to read it again. A man who has not passed through the inferno of his passions has never overcome them. As far as we can discern, the sole purpose of human existence is to kindle a light in the darkness of mere being. Everything that irritates us about others can lead us to an understanding of ourselves. And this is the basis of gnosis, self-knowledge. And this is why I do astrology. It's not, I feel the need to defend it all the time, because you have people who are like, I don't believe in astrology. It's not something to believe in. It's a tool. Do you not believe in Myers-Briggs or any other way of describing the universe? This is a way of diving into ourselves, and you can do it however the hell you want to. So that's my defense of astrology at this point. I can't help it. I mean, I guess that's part of this fire, right? I'm overtaken by that. It's so valuable for me. Why do you feel the need to tell people not to do what they want to do, not to feel how they want to feel, not to believe how they want to believe? You just believe, and you believe. You just do and you do. You are you, and that's it. I mean, that is the nature of reality. At the end of this life, no one else has experienced your life but you. That's for you, man. So there are a lot of people who do it wrong. Did they do it wrong? I don't know. They're the only ones who experienced it. I can judge it. You are you, and that's it. Guru, gee, you are you. This is what I want to excite people to do, to just figure yourself out. If you want to do it through astrology, I'm here. I will help you. I will tell you. I'm learning more and more every day, and I'm using it for my own life, and it's making me grow, and that's it. If you do it through something else, do it now. Now is the time to figure out who you are, what your desires are, what you want. It is the cocoon time. It is the portal of fire. It is burning off all of the things that are not working, that are not true anymore, that you can fill in the rest. So, I mean, yeah, ultimately, I want you all to figure out what you want, to figure out what kind of world you want, to figure out what your most creative inner being desires. When you're a child and you show the adult your coloring page because you colored it so well, that's the energy of right now. It is a pure look at my creation. So figure out what that is. What are you here to create? We are all creators. That is the reason we are here. I'm going to say it again. At the end of your life, you're the only one who experienced your life. Nobody else did. So if your life is a book and you're reading it right now, you can do this practice. I'm reading my life book, right, in my mind's eye. What would I be screaming at my character to do right now? You have to stand outside yourself. That's what astrology does. That's what most of these esoteric tools do. Shamanism, tarot, Reiki, um, anything that helps you, Enneagram, right? Any personality test you've ever taken is to understand yourself. There are places we don't look. That's called the shadow. We turn a blind eye to. It, now is not the time to turn a blind eye to the shadow. It'll kick your ass. You have to know what your shadow is, and you have to know what you desire. You have to know what that is. And you have to do it without fear of judgment from others. You have to be willing to mess up. You have to be willing to trip, you know. A man who has not passed through the inferno of his passions has never overcome them. A man who has not passed through the inferno of his passions has never overcome them. Your passions, when not really looked at, which we do that, you know, I don't want to look at that passion. That passion is scary. Maybe you have a passion to go on stage, but it's ruling you because you push it down. You don't look at it. You don't allow that inner child, that inner creative fire to come up, and it becomes a part of your shadow, and it drives you to project onto other people. And this is what you have to figure out. What is it that's driving you to maybe not the success you want, to not the health you want, to what's driving you away from the life that you want? It is the suppression of what you truly desire. Maybe you truly desire power. You have to make that known in yourself in order to understand it. And then you understand it, you go, oh, well, I can have power this way. And it's a great expression of it. You know, otherwise it is, I want all the money in the world. That's the lower manifestation of it. Why do you want the money? Why do you want the power? What is it? Why do you want the success? Why do you want to live? What is your legacy? Saturn is legacy, and Saturn is connected to many, many planets right now. And Jupiter is personal truth. So speaking your personal truth, really figuring out what your legacy is. So a man who has not passed through the inferno of his passions has never overcome them. As far as we can discern, the sole purpose of human existence is to kindle a light in the darkness of mere being. Everything that irritates us about others can lead us to an understanding of ourselves. This is a time to do that. If you are annoyed by someone during this grand fire trine and something comes up and you're passionate about it, why? Follow that rabbit down the hole. If you have a belief that's being challenged, and maybe there's something telling you, I need to know more about this, you can change your mind right now. You can change your beliefs. There are no rules. Not really. Carl Jung said that too. Life has no rules. Here I am telling you about Saturn and the rules. Well, we define them. And this is the creation. This is creativity. This is being a human. I wonder if there's anything else I can tell you. I don't think so. There is one more quote I'm going to share with you. And it's another Carl Jung quote. A man who is not on fire is nothing. He is ridiculous. He is two-dimensional. He must be on fire even if he does make a fool of himself. A flame must burn somewhere, otherwise no light shines. There is no warmth, nothing. Anyway, I hope for you to be the warmth in your reality. I hope for you to be the inspired, the fool, you know, go after your desires. Now's the time to do it. There's no reason not to. Wonder if I can bring up this thing again. Let's see here. Just to close out, I'm going to leave you with this. And it's some sounds, you know. I'm going to leave you with some sounds. This is my uber creative friend, Lee Jeffrey. And I'm going to just skip to the middle and play a little bit. I'm going to put that again in the comments so you guys can go check out this wonderful, wonderful music. I'll share one more quote on Facebook. I'm going to log off to Instagram. Happy new moon. Set your creative intentions. Set yourself on fire. Not literally. Please don't do that literally. Do that in your heart. Be compassionate. Be loving. That's all there is.